That's not going to backfire at all.
Yeah, if I actually remember to hit record.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't tell him last night. Did he record last night? I was supposed to remind him.
He did, yeah.
Okay, I wasn't in there last night.
All right.
Thank
Ready?
you, Liner. Appreciate
I
it.
wasn't in last night.
Okay. Tonight is actually a Agadatim. This is like a bracha stuff tonight.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
I think we've earned it.
Yeah. It's true. But you know what? It's gonna be short-lived because the next 2 blocks from now is already a highway, let me tell you. All right. Arvei Pesachim is in sight, though. It's in sight.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's like brachas, right?
Arvei Pesachim, yeah. Okay, Zok the Mishnah, yeah. But we do have Purim tonight also. We do have a lot of Purim, well, not a lot, but a major Purim allusion. Not illusion. What's the word I'm looking for? Not an illusion. Allusion.
Alludes to it.
Allude, right? But how do you say that in the Avar or the future? Ich weiß nicht. I don't know.
It refers. There are references.
I showed them my Purim halachas. I give it out to the guys to proofread before. So one of the Rebbeim in Yeshiva Farakli looks at it, he says, this sentence, the English teachers would go crazy on this one. He says, but I don't see any other way to write it clearer than you did. So we're just gonna keep it. But like the English is a disaster. Okay, what should I do? I'm not an English professor. You're muted, Rabban. You're muted.
I know which sentence you mean. I just read the halach is waiting for you to come. I know which sentence you mean.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So Zok the Mishnah. Yeah. So ha'isha bisman shehi bebeis ba'ala, a woman, right? So this is going to be talking about all the different people that are, right? We said that you need to be part of a chabura. You got to be part of a clique in order to be for the korban Pesach, and you can't do multiple chaburas, right? That's the basic halacha. That's what we've been learning. So what happens if multiple people have other people in mind? So then what's the din? So ha'isha bisman shehi bebeis ba'ala, a woman that when she's in her husband's house, shachar aleh bayla v'shachar aleh aviyah. So and her father shechted for her, meaning had her in mind, and her husband, right? So clearly he was having a hard time letting go, right? The father. So he made it korban pesach, and now she's stuck. Who does she go with? Her father or her husband? So Gemara says she eats from her husband because mastama, her das is with the husband. Holcha regel rishon lasis b'beis, but if she went to the first Yom Tiv to her parents, which Rashi says is the minig, right? The minig is that you go to the girl's house for the first Yom Tiv. So then shachar aleh aviyah. So then if her father shechted it for her, v'shachar aleh bayla toicha b'makom she writes. So then she has a choice. Meaning, it comes out in the ratio she has to go with the husband, and then in the seifa she can go with whichever one she wants. Right? Now, does this mean I wasn't clear on this? Does this mean that the first Yom Tov was Pesach, or no? Or is it the first Yom Tov was Sukkos or Shavuos, and since she went the first Yom Tov to her father, then Mamela she can go with whatever she wants when it comes to Pesach, or does it mean only when the first Yom Tov was Pesach?
Artsco brings down
that
in this case, the first Yom Tov was Pesach. It's a minhag to go the first Yom Tov to her parents' house. In this case, the first Yom Tov was Pesach.
Is that so? Okay, good. That answers my question.
That's what he says.
Okay, very good. Very good. That answers my question. Right, it makes sense. It makes sense. They bring it from anybody, or they just send on their own?
The first half is Rashi, and then in this case, it was Pesach. It does not say that was Rashi.
But they don't say who they
doesn't
say
bring a
it from.
source. No.
See, Yaakov, the minute is to go to first Pesach.
Dafka Pesach?
Yeah, to the wife's parents. That's the minute.
Pesach's very hard to make.
No, not to make. You go say.
Yeah, but I think after that, you're putter for the rest of your life.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyways, okay.
It's interesting she doesn't take the husband with.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, that's.
They both shechted the korban Pesach.
Right. That's true. You know, the husband, he's got to come with his own matzahs. This new son-in-law's got to, he's got to keep his own chumras. Right?
That means he brings a whole kabur with him to his shver. That's not happening.
Yeah.
I don't know
That's-
anyone's
Excuse
shver
me,
will
that
do
does
that.
happen. That happened for many years until someone moved out of state.
Very good.
Didn't I ask you that one time about being mater nether? If let's say you have different chumras or whatever, and you have to go eat there, right? You said no.
That you don't have to be mataneder.
Right. I'm saying if you
That
have
was
more
it.
chumras, and
Yeah. Although there was one of these Jewish magazines sitting on the table tonight in my house, and I opened it up and seen the article about this guy that helped make the peace deals with the Arabs.
Berkowitz.
Not Berkowitz, a different guy. I never heard of him. No, I don't know what the guy's name
The
is.
Lichtenstein, that guy. from
Lichtenstein.
Lightstone.
Lightstone, whatever. So he said when he first went for a Suda in the palace, each person got an entire lamb, parked down right in front of them. Each person by the Suda, by the Arabs, got an entire lamb. And he ended up telling them,
Was it
give
still
me
alive?
fruit. I don't know if it was still alive. But okay. Anyways, okay, so weiter. So again, if she's by her husband's house, then she goes with her husband. If the first Yom Tif is Pesach and she was by her parents, then she can go with whichever one she wants. Fine. Next case is Yasam Sheshachtu Aleh Apotropsin. So a Yasam has a couple of people in charge of him, helping him out, and he had two different guys shechted on his behalf. So Yaakov Makom Shu writes us, so then he chooses whichever one he wants. Eved Shel Shnei Shutvim. Let's say an Eved that was co-owned by two different people, and they each had him in mind. Lo yochel mishal shnei, you can't eat from either one of them. So Rashi says you can't eat either one's Pesach because who says, meaning everybody, each one owns every part of this Eved's body, right? So Mamela, it's you can't go with either one because how do you know? But the next case is Misha Chetze Eved Chetze Ben Chayrin. Let's say he was freed by one of the partners, so now he's half free and half Eved. Lo yochel misha rabbi, then he's not allowed to eat from his master, right? Because how is he doing that if half of him is free, right?
In the
din
of the Mishna, chorus now?
Is he chayiv kor? Well, because he didn't.
He didn't come in Pesach.
I don't know, Taka. I don't know.
Wait, does this mean it's just not automatic, or can the rabbi be minor?
What do you mean? He can't. He's got the free half of himself.
Wait, what? The non-free part of himself is automatic by the other. The free part of himself just needs to be nimna, that's all. Needs to be minor.
But I'm saying Rashi says he didn't have das. His master didn't have das. That's what you're saying.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay, but the Mishnah is talking about in a case where he didn't have that. So then Mela was. He's chayiv koris, I guess. But right, you're right. The Gershon, you're right. The diak Rashi saying is that Mastama, the Rab, his master didn't have das on the free half of the Eved. It's mashma that if he did have das on the free half of the Eved, then we'd be fine. Right? That's what you're saying. Right? Then he'd be fine. Right? Yeah, that's what it is. It's only because the assumption is the master is only taking care of the half of him that he owns. Why should he take care of any other half?
It's Pasha, he's an Inus if the rabbi is not mine on him. I don't know why he would be chayiv for that. He's Inus. What's he supposed to do?
He's an Inus, but
he can make his own technically, no?
What are you saying?
On the chelik that is the
can
rabbi.
make his own.
Why?
He doesn't have any money. He has no money.
No, even if he could, what's he supposed to do? The chelik that's the
rabbi, the half of him that owns, he can still own a half the korban Pesach.
We just said in the prior Mishnah, the rabbi is not going to allow that when it comes to if he's owned by two different rabbis.
No, they can't include him because he doesn't belong fully to either one of them.
So he
The other
can't
way
be
around
included
would
in,
work.
but he can't be included in another person. The rabbi is not going to allow the half that's still an evid by him to go join another chavura. That's what we just said in the prior case.
He owns a half of himself. That
But
half
you can't
is own
split
his
half.
own korban Pesach.
It doesn't seem like that based on the prior part. You can't just go ahead and split yourself into two different things.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay, whatever it is.
To Yaakov, in the case
Yeah.
of Abatrupin, is that totally in the din of Yesh Breira Ain't Breira?
Oh,
fact that
very
he
good.
could
It's the Gemara's
choose-
first kasha. The Gemara's first
Oh.
kasha, not on the apotropsin, but it's the Gemara's going to handle it a few times. Akiva, very good. Yeah, I don't want to Breira. Yeah, Akiva, Breira's right up your alley. No,
I don't understand it. I just know that this is the type of thing that requires it. You know?
100%. So let's see the Gemara. Very good. So Shamas Mino Yesh Breira, right? You hear from this is Yesh Breira, but you're saying on the apotropsin. I think the Gemara is even asking on the wife.
Right. I just asked in the last case.
Right.
All
Yeah, but it's
Makes sense.
Yesh Breira. So we hear from this that there's Yesh Breira. So the Gemara says, no, my right. So what does it mean when she wants? B'shas shrita. She has to decide when they shechted. She can't decide later. Right? Meaning, what's Breira? Breira means that you can make a decision retroactive, even though, and your decision you won't have to reveal your decision till later. Meaning you have to be counted on the korban before they shechted, right? So how can she decide later which one she wants to go to? You got to make a decision. Which one do you want to be part of, right? So she's making a decision later that cuts it back retroactive to the before the shechita. That's what the Gemara thinks that it's saying. So the Gemara answers no. It means she has to decide, but shas shechita, which one she's going with. But then the Gemara says, "U'Ramino ask you kasha isha regular isha nechelas mishal avia." The first Yom Tov, she eats by her father's. If she wants, she eats If she wants, she eats from her father. Mishal Bailan. If she wants, she eats from her husband. Right? But what did we say? By that, if she goes to the first Yom Tov home, she has a choice. Right? She could choose whatever one she wants. And here it doesn't say that. So then when it says like kasha, kan beredufa leilech. One is talking about where she's running to go back to the father. Kan b'shein redufa, and here's talking about when she's not running to go back. Right. So if she's running to go back, so then she's gonna wanna. If she's constantly going home, right? You have different women. With some girls get married, and they don't care to go back home. Others are constantly running back home. So the one that's constantly running back home is gonna be more with her father. What? And the other one's going to be with her. I'm sorry, I'm saying it the opposite. Redufa here is not. I'm sorry. Redufa is not going back to her father's home. Redufa is going back to her husband. She keeps running to her husband, not to her home. So the one that keeps running to her husband, the stomach wants to go to her husband. The one that's not running to her husband's house is going to want to stay with the father. Tichsiv, and now the Gemara gets to a lot of agadat. Tichsiv, also yisi be'enav k'motzei shalom. Then I'm going to be in his eyes to be perfect. Right? It's a pasuk in Shir Hashirim, right? Which is always the Shir Hashirim is referring to Klal Yisrael's relationship with Hashem, with the Torah, right? So they want to be. Rashi says that she wants to be complete with her husband's family. It's like a kala who's perfect in her in-laws' house. And she's running to go tell her father's family, that her husband's family likes her. Right? Yeah. So basically, it's just that she's constantly running back and forth to show how accepted she was. You should be called my husband, and you're not going to be called my master anymore. So what does this mean? It's like a kala in her father-in-law's house, for like a kala base of via, not a kala that's in her father's house. Meaning a kala in the father's house is when she's engaged, right? You have erisin, And they're suing, right? Back then they got engaged and they lived at the father's house for a year, even though they were still tied to the husband. But it wasn't couldn't possibly such a close relationship between the husband and the wife, right? But once they got married, so then it becomes much stronger. Fine. Then the Gemara start darshans other pesukim from Shir Hashirim. So the Gemara says, the pasuk says, "Achos lanu ketana v'shadayim ein la." We have a small sister, and she doesn't have breasts. So what does that mean? Amar Rabbi Yochanan zu elam. This is Elam shezachsa lilmoid v'loy zachsa lelamed. It's the city of Elam that they were zeicha to learn, which is referring to Daniel. Daniel lived in Elam, and he was not zeicha to teach. So the same thing with breasts give over. Breasts are what causes kids to live. So that's the mashal for giving over Torah. Yeah, what the hashkafa behind this, that's your classic Shir Hashirim kashas and shah. We're not going to deal with that. But this is the Purim connection, because Rashi in Kedushin, right, Daniel, you know where Elam was? Elam was in Shushan. Right? Listening, Naftali? Elam was in Shushan. Okay, so Elam was in Shushan, and Rashi in Kedushin says that not only was Daniel not zeicha to teach, Mordechai HaTzadik was never zeicha to teach either, because the Elam and Elam they weren't interested in learning. It was a tzibur that didn't have the koiches to learn, right? But Ezra, who was in Bavel, was zeicha to teach a lot of Torah, right? That's where a lot of the takanas come from Ezra, right? There was no Torah being taught by Daniel and Mordechai. I don't know how that fits into some of the story of the Purim story, right? He was going to teach the kids. Maybe the kids learned and then they went out to work and stopped. I don't know, but that's what Rashi. It's a very interesting thing that it came up this week. I'm saying it's Rashi and Kedushin that says this.
Doesn't he teach Musar to Esther in the Purim story? Not you.
Yeah, but I don't think he means he didn't teach. I mean, it doesn't seem like it was a big city of Torah over there in Shushan.
It's like a raya that Musar is ancillary.
It's not Torah? Is that what you want to say? No, but I don't think he means that he never gave a drasha. He gave drushes. Right? In the Purim story, at least in the kids' stories, he called everybody together and spoke and all that. Right? So, but I think it just means that they didn't have yeshivas, and the island was not receptive to learning in Elam.
But to Yaakov, they bring down from Rashi and Kedushin that it's not that he tried to disseminate Torah. They like you said, they weren't interested.
Yeah, they just weren't. Yeah. It's an interesting.
What's shot that Ezra was Zaycha and he wasn't Zaycha?
I don't know.
Well, Ezra went to Eretz Yisrael to rebuild the Beis Hamikdash, didn't he?
But that was after he taught.
No, it was before. It was before. It's incorrect.
But it was after he already learned the Bavel. No?
Right, but it was before the Purim story happened.
Right,
so it could be because he went to Eretz Yisrael to rebuild. That's why he was there to have people.
I hear, but we also saw yesterday that the Beis Hamikdash had a section for Shushan Habira, which is really the geirem. That was really for the geirem, though, not for the Yidden. All right, very interesting. Okay, so fine. Then the pasuk continues, right? Ani chayma. I'm a wall, and my breasts are like a migdal. What do you call a building, a tower? The walls referring to Torah. Those are like Tamid Chachamim who give over the Torah. So that's the same thing. That's what a woman does when she nurses. She's giving over. So that's a mashal for the Torah. But Rava says, Ani chayma zu knesses Yisrael. So Ani Chaim is referring to Klal Yisrael, and Bata Knesisa, Bata Midrashas is referring to that's the, what do you call it? That's the Shaddai, that's the breasts. Fine.
So Yaakov, the Amud before we're trying to prove, or one of the Tanaim holds that this top floors are not part of. They don't have the Kedusha of Yerushalayim, and the migdals are taller than the regular.
Interesting.
We're going all the miles to the migdals that are Talmid Chachamim, the Batim Ksiyas, Batim Midrashim.
I hear. Very good. That's Okay, good. Amar Rav Zutra Partovi, Amar Rav, Ma'iter Siv Asher Bonenu Kinetim Mugudalim Benureim Benoisenu Kizavias Mechutavis Tavnes Heichel. Right. So our sons Bonenu Kinetim, our sons are like things that are planted. right? Mugdalim bin Ureim, they grow from when they're young. Ben Isainu, and our daughters are like corners, right? Of the building of the Heichal, of Shul or Beis Hamikdash, right? Asher Benenu Kedatiyim Elu Bachuri Yisroel, sons that are planted, those are the Bachrim. Shaloi Tamu Tam Chet, they were not Toyim Tam Chet, right? That's phrase always used when referring to children. That's Havel Tinoka Shabbos Rabban, because they're not Toyim Tam Chet, right? The boys are not Toyim Tam Chet. But Asenu Kazavias Elu Basulis Yisrael, that's referring to the single girls from Klal, that they close up their openings for their husbands, right? So there's two pshatim here. That's meaning that they don't mess around, so that they're considered basulim to whoever they marry, or it means b'shas nida, that they're not what do you call it? They stop. V'cheinu aimer umalu kimizra kazavis mizbeach. And they're going to be filled up like a bowl, a mizrach like a bowl, like the corners of an mizbeach. Fine. Or we learn now from this, for the corners, mizavenu, right? Milay and mefikim mizan al zan. The corners are full from one zan, from one feeding to another feeding, which means I'm sorry, that's it. So that's how you know Zavius provides it's like a corner, so it provides sustenance. And they were like the building of the Heichel. Both these and those, right? Meaning the boys that are controlling themselves and the girls that are controlling themselves, that's as if they are building the Heichel. The Beis Hamikdash is built in those days. Meaning when people stay away from Znus, so then that's as if the Beis Hamikdash is being built in their times, right? Okay, I mean we've said that a few times. The Taka Wai Bisman Hazeh is it's if there's a Beis Hamikdash being built from the lack of Znus, So all these single guys, single girls. Okay, whatever it is, fine. Now, a very fascinating story that takes us for about an Amud of Gemara. Yeah.
Is this last Gemara the heter for the freezer of B&G?
I don't know. I you know what? I don't know what the heter is to get married later than 18. So
exactly. So what's the freezer?
And a chanami, but I don't know if that's a
heter. It's a bittul mitzvah deraisa.
Yeah. Okay, but leave it up to whatever. Yeah, but okay, but it's whatever. It's still a certain time. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so let's see. It's a very interesting story. Tvar Hashem Asher Hoya El Hosheya Bimei Uziyo Yoisam Achaz Yisrael Malchi Yehuda. Right. So that's the Dvar Hashem was in the days of Uziyo. Yeah, how you pronounce it? Uziyo. I'm sorry. Yoisam, Ochaz, Yechezkiah, and the Melech Yehuda. Yeah, but Perek Echad Nisnavu Dal the Nevi'im. And there was one time that there were 4 Nevi'im, which we're going to see soon what they are. The galus Shabakul and Hosheya, and the biggest one was Hosheya. Shenemar Tchilas Dvar Hashem Hosheya. The beginning of Hashem's words was to Hosheya. V'chiba Hosheya Davar Tchila. Did Hashem speak to Hosheya first? From Moshe to Hosheya, there were many Nevi'im. So Rabbi Yochanan, Tchila L'arba Nevi'im Shedesnavu V'Yisei Perek. No, he was the first of the 4 Nevi'im that were Nevi'im at that time. Ve'elu Hein, Hosheya, Yeshaya, Amos, and Micha. Right? Those are not just streets in Yerushalayim, right? Those are Nevi'im. So Amar Loi, so Hashem said to Hosheya, Bonecha chatu, your kids are doing chataim, meaning Klal Yisrael is doing chataim. V'haya loy loymar. So what should Hosheya answer them back? Bonecha heim, right? They're your children. What do you mean you say my children? They're your children, right? Bnei chanunecha heim. They're the children of the people that you like. Bnei Avram, Yitzchak, v'Yaakov. Galgal rachamecha alein. And you should have rachmanas on them. Lo daya shaloi omar kach. So it wasn't enough that he didn't say that to Hashem and said they're your children, right? Ela omar lefanav Hashem kol ha'olam shelchahu. The whole world is yours. Haviram b'uma acheres. So just pass them by, get rid of the Yidden and go to another nation. Hashem was not happy with that. Right, so Amar HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Ma Esa l'Zaken Zeh. What am I going to do to this Zaken? Right, what should I do that this Navi that's how he reacted about Klal Yisrael. Now, if you remember, we had this Gemara in, was it Shabbos or Erevin, where they went around to Avram and Yitzchak, and Avram and Yitzchak said, we have no defense for Klal Yisrael. Right, and then finally went to Yaakov, and Yaakov had right. So what's the taina on Hosheya? Okay, whatever it is. So that's just a kasha. So Amar Loi, so I'm going to tell him, Lech v'kach isha zayna v'haylid lach banim znunim. So Hashem said, I'll tell Hosheya, go get married. Right? What are you saying?
That has to do with what you just said. That Gemara has to do with Purim too. So Yaakov Avinu said, half is on you, Hashem, and half is on me.
Right,
She be Malchias and so should be Isa.
I thought that was Yitzchak. Yitzchak said that. Because Yitzchak and Esav. So Yitzchak said he had Yaakov and Esav. So Pal Galai, Pal Galacha. Part on me, part on you. Because I created Esav, which is she with Malchias.
Yeah.
And you created the Yitzchak.
Don't confuse us with the facts here, Yuri. Come on.
That's why the matzah of Yitzchak is the Akedah.
Okay, I hear. So,
the Pasuk Yitzchak brings it down as a quote of Pal Galai, Pal
Yeah,
Galacha.
I'm getting my package Yitzchak out right now.
I forgot which mimer it is, but I think
you also into that stuff, Furi?
Yeah. It's Rabbi Groner. Rabbi Groner's fault.
Okay. It's good for you. I wish I could understand that. I wish I could understand.
I didn't say I understand it. I said I pretend.
Okay, very good. So I'm alive.
To Yaakov, it's interesting that you were saying that Hosheya was greater than Yeshaya, and Yeshaya is the one who spoke about the galus.
It's interesting, right?
I'm
now
saying,
also,
well, then why?
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was just wondering, like, what? I never knew that. I always assumed Yeshaya was there was a reason why Yeshaya was the one who spoke about, the galus and all that. And isn't he the one who speaks about galus? Going to galus, coming out of galus.
Right. Also, yeah, I think I saw this kasha somewhere. That why doesn't Hosheya come first? No, in the order.
Right. Yeah. Right. But also, like, you would never know that from what Yeshaya prophesies and what Hosheya prophesies.
Right, Anachanami. I don't know. I wish I knew enough nach for this. Yeah. Okay. Anyways. Okay. So Amaloi leif v'kach isha zayna. A very interesting thing that Hashem presented with Hosheya. Go take an isha zayna, v'haylu l'chabanim znunim, and then you should have kids who literally means znunim, that they're from znus, meaning Rashi says you're not going to have any idea if these kids are yours or somebody else's, right? Because she's a zayna. But go have kids with them. And then I'm going to tell you to divorce her. And if Hosheya is able to send her away, I'm also going to send Klal Yisroel away. Meaning, let's test him. Let's test him and see if he can actually. Meaning, he's saying, take a wife who you're close to, even though she's a zayna, and you're not going to be able to get rid of her. So even though Klal Yisrael is not behaving, I'm not going to be able to get rid of them either. That's basically what Hashem was presenting to Hosheya. So Shenemar, how do you know all this? Shenemar vayom Hashem Hosheya lech kach lecha isha zanunim v'yalde zanunim, and they should have zanunim.
I mean, is it that difficult to get a divorce? Plenty of people do it. I'm just saying, like, if you want to get rid of a wife, plenty of people do it.
Very good. So that's
not so difficult,
right? So the Meiri says on Amud Aleph that you see that divorce is a very difficult thing. That's what he said. The very difficult thing on children. Well, he's going to be a diak. Mom, you're 100% right, 100%. But that's one of the things we learn out from this. But anyway, he took this lady named Gomer, the daughter of Divlayim. Divlayim. Gomer, what's a pshat Gomer? Amar Rav shall call Gomer, but everybody finishes with her, meaning she's the zayna for everybody, right? Bas Divlayim. What does it mean, Divlayim? Dibara pas dibara. She's a daughter that has a bad reputation, the daughter of a bad, meaning she's a meyuchas dika. She didn't stam get a stam a zayna. He got a meyuchas dika, right? V'shmuel Amar, shemasuka b'fia kol kedvela. She's sweet to everybody like a fig. Right, meaning that's again she was a zayna. But Rabbi Yochanan Amar shakol dashen ba kedvela. Everybody steps on her like a devela, right, like a dried fig. Davar acher, a different shot. Goimer Amar of Yehuda shebikshu legamar memaynan shel yisroel biyomel. Right, that they wanted to take away all the money of Klal Yisrael in her days. I have no idea what this means. I don't know what does that mean. They wanted to take, her name was Goimer because they wanted to take away all of Klal Yisrael's money in her days. Does that mean because they had to pay for the znus? Is that what that means? Or, I don't know, I'm not sure. Okay, so anyways, so Rabbi Yochanan Amar, Bazazu v'gamru, they were buzzes and they gamru, shenamar ki abdam melech aram v'yasim v'kavar lashon. I mean, I guess that's the answer to the question, but it's interesting. Like they wanted, it says they wanted to take that. Her name was Gomer. What do you mean they wanted to? They did, right? Then the Gemara says they did get rid of come in and they took all the money away from Klal Yisrael. Okay, either way, Batar v'teled loy ben, and she got pregnant and she had a kid. Vayomer Hashem elav karashma Yisroel, call him Yisroel. Ki oid ma'at ufakadli esdamai esdamei Yisroel al base of Yehu. I'm going to end up taking revenge for the blood of Yisroel on Yehu. Yeah. V'hashafti v'hishpati. I'm sorry, my malchus base Yisrael, and he's going to end the malchus of base Yisrael. So that was the name. That was one name Hashem said to name. Vatar oid v'teled bas, and then they had a daughter. Vayomer loy kara shema ruchama. Call her. No, what? I'm sorry, loy ruchama. Kara shema loy ruchama. Call her name not ruchama, meaning loy not, meaning her name is loy ruchama. Right, like we had yesterday. Rav, who was it? Rav Huna. Called himself Rav Huna, right? So her name is loy ruchama.
Is this the first double name in Jewish history?
I don't know. Well, you had, he was before. This is before.
Yeah.
I hear. Yeah. Chayesara, what do you mean? No. Okay, anyway, so Kiloi Oisiv Oid, right? Arachim is Beis Yisrael. Because I'm not going to have any more Rachmanos on Beis Yisrael. So Kinasa Esalehem, that I'm going to even forgive them. But so that was that. Batar v'teled bain. And then he had another, then she had another kid, Vayomer Hashem, and Hashem said, Loi Karashmoi Loi Ami. Loi Ami, right? Ki atem Loi Ami. You're not my nation, Anochi Loi Elechem, I'm not going to be for you. Fine. So that's what Hashem was obviously telling him to give names of, he was not very happy with Klal Yisrael. After he had two boys and a girl, should you not have learned from Moshe, your Rebbe? Also a very interesting question. Hashem says to Hosheya, since I spoke to Moshe, Pirish Min Ha'isha, you should be, he was Pirish from his wife. You should separate from her too. Right? Well, what's the shaykhs? There was no other Navi that was held to that level, like Moshe. Right, but hey, it's okay, whatever. That's the kasha. I have sons from her. I can't get rid of her. I have children. Right, this is David. This is the diak from there that he says. He didn't say I can't get rid of her because I have a relationship with her. He said I can't get rid of her because I have children. Right, so that's right from then and there. That there's an achrayus to parents. For obviously every situation is different, but there's an achrayus to parents when there's children involved. Okay, so now you, who's your wife is a zayna, and your kids are benzonahs, right? There you go, parrots, right? I mean, you don't know if that's what it is. That's what it says. What should I tell you, right? And you don't know if if they're yours or if they're somebody else's. Kach Yisrael shehin b'nei. How do you say this? Shehin b'nei. They're my sons. B'nei b'chuni, and they're the ones of b'chuni really means b'china from like the word test. B'nei Avram, Yitzchak, v'Yaakov. Echad me'arba kinyana shekanisa b'alam, and they're one of the four things that I was kind in this world. And then the Gemara just digresses to discuss that. Torah kinyan. Kinyan echad. Torah is one. T'chsiv Hashem kanani reishis darka. Hashem was kind of Torah at the beginning of his ways. Shemayim va'aretz kinyan echad. The Shemayim va'aretz is another kinyan. T'chsiv kind of Shemayim va'aretz. Beis Hamikdash kinyan echad, and Beis Hamikdash is one kinyan. T'chsiv harzeh kansa yemina. And yisroel kinyan echad. T'chsiv amzu kanisa. Right. This is the nation that I bought. Right, it's interesting that Shemayim va'aretz are one because there's really five things. Shemayim va'aretz are paired together as one. Anyways, and now he's finishing. And you told me, you can't even get rid of your Zayna wife, and you're telling me I should get rid of Klal Yisroel, who was one of my 4 purchases, and replace them.
Didn't Klal Yisroel say Amzu Kanisa? That's part of Hosheya, no?
I was trying to remember where the pasuk is.
Amzu Kanisa
right. Amzu.
So Klal Yisroel said this. But Amzu
Kanisa.
Right, but Klal Yisroel is the one who said it. This wasn't HaKadosh Baruch Hu who said it.
That's true, but Klal Yisroel must have
declaring that he was kind of us. That's what,
yeah, but Klal Yisroel
actually says that he was kind of. This is
right. So how did
right?
Right, but how did Klal Yisroel know that But Klal Yisroel didn't make it up.
Yeah, so where's the pasuk that says that Hashem was kind of them?
No, the Klal Yisrael said you bought us.
That's them declaring. No, that's them declaring that we were.
I understand, but you think they made it up?
I'm not saying they made it up. I'm saying where's that? Where's that? Meaning that has to link to something else, right?
That's the one preface. No, there's no sheker in the Torah.
No, he's not saying that this sheker.
I'm not saying it's a sheker. I'm saying
you're saying where's the makar that from Hashem that he purchased?
If Klal Yisrael said you Hashem were kind to us, and I put it in the Torah, it must be true. Period.
I didn't say it's not true.
So then he was kind to us.
No, but he's saying that it's not a makar coming from Hashem. Okay, I hear.
Why does it need to be coming from Hashem?
Because
the Torah comes from Hashem.
Everything else the Gemara is saying is from.
What do you mean the Torah comes from Hashem? What does it have to do with the conversation?
Hashem gave us the Torah, right?
Yeah. So what does it have to do with the conversation?
So ultimately, he's telling. Because Baruch Hu is telling us that he was kind to us.
No, but Klal Yisrael
is saying it.
I hear. Okay. Okay. It's interesting. Yep. Okay. So let's see weiter. So since he knows he made a mistake, he did, and he asked for mechila. Kodesh Baruch Hu, right?
Did he make a kinyan of under the chuppah when he married her? So what's the shayla? I'm talking about making a kinyan. So he has a kinyan with his wife.
Oh, but I hear what you're saying, but the Ozyasha was before.
But I'm saying if a kinyan is binding, that's what I'm saying. I was kind of these 4 things.
Right. I hear. Right. I hear. Okay. Maybe taco. So very good. So you want to daven for yourself. You have to daven for Klal Yisrael because I made 3 gezeros on them. He asked for rachamim and there was mavato the gezerah. Then he started giving him a bracha. And the counting of Klal Yisrael was like the sand in the sand in the sea, right? Yeah, so that's that. Then it says, right? You're not my people. Right? My children of the living Hashem. And the Bnei Yehuda and the Bnei Yehuda and Bnei Yisrael got together. Right? So let's finish this. And I'm gonna plant her in the land. V'rechamti es loy ruchama, and I'm gonna have rachmanis on the loy ruchama. That was the name of the girl. V'amarti l'loy ami amiata, and the one that his name was, they're not my nation. I'm gonna say you are my nation. Right? Okay, so that's the end. That's the end of the story. So they know the names. He said, I'm going to have Rachmanas on the loy, meaning Hashem changed the whole Gezerah, right?
We see that's not true. Hashem sent Klal Yisrael the galus.
Oh, so that's an outer Gemara is going to discuss all that. Akiva, very good. Gemara is going to discuss that now. Well, in a few lines, but I guess at that point Hashem took it back, right? So Amar Rabbi Yochanan.
Was there a Shinui Shem here? Did Akash Baruch Hu tell him to change the name, take the loys out? The loy Ruchama to become Ruchama?
I'm not sure if that means he changed the name or loy
Ami became Ami.
I don't know if that means that what the loy Ami was representing became Ami, that his name was changed. I'm not sure. Okay, a very interesting Gemara in the next line. Amar Rabbi Yochanan, oy lo l'rabbanos shemekaveres es baila. Woe is to Rabbanos because it buries its. Where's Landau? Is Landau on here? All right. Somebody send him this line of Gemara.
Wow. No, he's at Abu Subanim.
Well, okay. He said, oy lo l'rabbanos. Woe is to anybody who's in Rabbanos that it buries the owner of, meaning those that are in Rabbanos, it buries them. Okay. Shine. Now, what does that mean? Now, it doesn't mean Rabbanos. Rashi says, right, it means positions of power. She'ein lecha kol navi v'navi shaloi kipa arba malachim b'yom. Kipach, I'm sorry. There's no navi that didn't have 4 kings, didn't survive 4 kings, meaning the kings were the Rabbanos. And they didn't live. They lived short lives. Shenemar chazayin Yeshayahu ben Amoz asher chazal Yehuda v'Yerushalayim. And then the end of the pasuk says, in B'yamim in Yemei Uzziah and Yosam Achaz Chizkiah the Malcha Yehuda, right? So now, what's it called? I actually did some exercise. I was listening to Rabbi Rosner's daf. He said a very interesting Chassam Sofer. I have to look this up. He said that the reason why it's the Rabbanos is buries the owner is because a Rav has to show different reactions to different people, right? He has to be, for this one, he's got to smile and say, da, da, da. So Mamela, the Rav has no personality. You can't ever figure out what the Rav wants because he's busy trying to save everybody else. So his personality is buried. He does his bilus. He has got no bilus because he's so busy with everybody else. Right? A very interesting shot. Okay, fine. Amar Rabbi Yochanan, Melech Yisroel Limanis and Malcha Yehuda. How come Yirovam ben Yosh Melech Yisroel was zeicha to be counted with the Malcha Yehuda? The Malcha Yehuda were much more chashuv, right? B'nei shalei kibbul lashon hara almost because he wasn't mekabel lashon hara almost minolan. How do you know? Minolan de imni. How do you know that he was counted with the Malcha Yehuda? The chsiv Dvar Hashem Hosheya el Hosheya ben Be'eri was the word of Hosheya ben Be'eri Mei Uzziah. Yosam Achaz Yechezkiah, right? Malcha Yehuda, Uvi Yirovam ben Yoyash Melech Yisroel. So he's including them. Yoyash Melech Yisroel is being included with the Malcha Yehuda. Menolan Dalai Kibbul lashon hara. How do you know he wasn't a Kibbul lashon hara? The Siv, Vayishlach Amatzi Akayin Beis El Yirovam Melech Yisroel Lemar Kashar Alecha. He sent Amatzi Akayin Beis El. Said, he was what do you call it? It's avodah zarah, not a kohen. Right? Rashi says he was an avodah zarah. They refer to priests as kohanim, right? And he said that Amos is kosher alecha. He's tying you up, meaning he's going to try and get you. Uksiv ki koi amar Amos.
Yirovam Melech Yisroel there also.
What?
Called him Yirovam Melech Yisroel there also.
Okay, so what's the problem?
That's before the lashon hara even.
No, but he was a Melech Yisrael, but he was just included with the Malcha Yehuda.
Okay.
That's what I think is the pshat, right? Kikoy Amar Amos b'cherev Yamos Yirovam. He said that that Yirovam was going to die from a cherev, from a sword. Amar Chas v'Shalom. So Yirovam said Chas v'Shalom, right? That he could have Chas v'Shalom. Amar Ois Tzadikach. Chas v'Shalom that a tzaddik should say this. Bim Amar Ma Eseloi. What should I do to him if he did say it? Shechina amrulai. The Shechina is what told him to do it. So he wasn't makabel. So Amar Rabbi Lazar. So afilu b'shas kasei shel HaKadosh Baruch Hu zoiches harachim. Even when Hashem is very angry, he remembers his rachmanas shenemar ki lo oisif oid harachim es beis Yisrael. I'm not going to have any more rachmanas on Klal Yisrael.
Yaakov.
Yeah.
So if the Baruch Shalom has kas, how do we say that kas is a bad midah?
Yeah. Right. So we asked, I think we asked this when we discussed the kas being bad, and how could it be that Hashem, somebody, I don't remember the pshat. I think we mentioned it. I think so. All right. So meaning, but how do you learn it out from here? Because it doesn't say that he's angry. He says, I'm not going to have rachmanis anymore. Right? It's a very positive lashon. It's not that I'm going to be angry. I'm not going to have rachmanis. Okay. Rabbi Yosef Reb Chanina Amar Mehacha Ki Nasoi Esel Lahem. That I'm gonna literally means I'm gonna carry them. I mean, he's gonna give. It's a lashon of mechila. Amar Rabbi Lazar.
I don't understand. Don't we know that from the Yod Gimel Midas?
That what?
That Hashem is rachamim even b'shas when he's angry.
If we know that from the Yud Gimel Midas, because Hashem kel racham b'chanun erech apayim. Does that mean that b'shas when he's well? You're right. That's exactly what the Yud Gimel was doing. Yud Gimel Midas was doing. Maybe that's how we know. Maybe that's how we know.
So but they didn't know that from the Yud Gimel Midas Alain without this whole drasha.
Maybe
it was before they had Tanaisim. This was before.
No, the Yud Gimel Midas Moshe are being taught.
I know.
Right. Yeah. Yes. Right. I don't know. I hear. Maybe they didn't know about the Yud. I don't know. It's a good question.
Well, Erech Apayim is one of the Yud Gimel Midas.
Right. And so is Rachel.
I'll be slow to anger. They're all before Kas, could be. This the chiddush of this pasuk is.
I'm saying Hashem wasn't angry. Hashem wasn't angry after the Egel.
But Yikar Apay, but
after the what's it called? The Meraglim and the. I don't know. Okay, so let's see. HaKadosh Baruch Hu, this is a wild Gemara. HaKadosh Baruch Hu only put us into galus so that people should become geirem. Now, I'm going right after this daf to a party for a guy who became a ger today. So for me it's in Yonah de Yoma. And if I have to darshan, you know where the drush is going to be. But anyways, so the reason why we're in galus is for geirem. Shenemar uzraziya li be'eretz. I'm going to plant you in the land. Klum adam zerei sa. Does a person plant a saw? Ela lahachnis kamakurin, right? You only plant something in order to get back a lot more. And I had rachmanas on the people that are not my right as loy ruchama, those that shouldn't have rachmanas. Yeah. So basically, the reason why we go to galus is because we want to be able to build up Klal Yisrael. Oh, we're not supposed to avoid geirem. I'm not sure what to do with that. Right? We're supposed to convince people not to become geirem. Right? So
it's saying indirectly.
I guess
into galus, so we should make a massive kiddush Hashem, and through kiddush Hashem, they should want to become geirem.
Right, but then they want to become geirem. We say no. Right?
Well, no, that's part of the job to make sure they're real. Not that we don't want geirem.
Right. That's a
don't go out lechatchila to proselytize. That we don't do.
Right.
If they come, we want them.
Okay, so very good. So Amar Rav Yochanan B'Shem Rav Shimon Yochai. Rav Yochanan says B'Shem Rav Shimon Yochai, Mai dichsev al talshin evedas el adayna pen yikalalecha v'ashamta. Don't say lashon hara on an eved to his master, because he's going to curse you, and then you're going to be found to be done wrong. The generation, a dar, that they curse their father and doesn't bench the mother. So what is the pshat in that? Because because they curse their father and doesn't give a bracha to its mother. So you shouldn't say lashon hara on them. So what does it mean? Even a dar who's they curse their father and they don't bench their mother. Al tilshan avid aladinav. Don't say lashon hara to Hashem, right? So meaning that the Klal Yisrael is the avid, and they're not behaving. Don't say lashon hara to them. Menalan, how do you know this? May Hosheya. You know it from Hosheya, because he did say Klal Yisrael. I mean, I don't know why Hashem said that. We're saying that Hosheya said get rid of Klal Yisrael, but that it wasn't. Hashem asked him that the Klal Yisrael is doing bad. It's not like he said that. He didn't rat out Klal Yisrael. Hashem had gone to him and said Klal Yisrael is doing bad, so he said to get rid of them. Okay, but that's what we're saying.
You see, a lack of doing something is just as bad as you know.
You're right, 100%. That must be what it is, right? If you didn't try and defend them, if you don't defend them, then you're with them. That's what you're saying, Akiva, right?
Right. It was the same. It was the same kind on. Was it? Who ran away? Who's one who ran away? Eov.
Yeah. What's the name?
Yona.
Yona.
And Tana and Eov also, when Eov was by a power.
Yeah. Right. That's a Rashi. Very good.
Also, yes.
Ori, what do you want to say?
No.
Maskim. Okay. Amar Rav Aishia. My dichsiv tzidka is perzona be yisroel. He's gonna say over that what the Hashem did in the that's also Prozim. It's also Purim. Prozim is one of the, how do you call it, the open cities when they read the Megillah, right? So tzidka is perzona be yisroel. He's gonna say over the good things that were done. Tzedakah asa Kadosh Baruch Hu Yisrael. Hashem did a good thing for Yisrael. Shapizron lebeina umas. He spread them out all over the world. Right, meaning it was actually that Klal Yisrael all over the world made them be able to survive, because the geirem couldn't kill. If we'd all be in the same area, then the geirem would just have an easy time killing us out. So the Gemara brings a story about this. Amin said to Rab Chanina, Anan malinan minaychu, we're better than you. It says by the Yidin, Kisheshes Chadashim Yashav Sham. You're going to stay there. He stayed there for 6 months, and they killed everybody in Edom, right? That's when they killed out. That's when Yoav killed out all the Edom. Va'ilu Anan, Aisinchu, but us, Aisinchu Gabon Kamashani, you're with us many years. We let you live in peace. You Yidden went and wiped out the whole Edom, and we are letting you live with us in peace. So he did also an interesting thing. If you want, I'll let one of my students talk to you, one of the Talmidim talk to you. First of all, what he's saying, if you want. First, he's blowing him off. He's saying, I'm not even gonna talk to you about this. I'm gonna give you over to one of my students, right? But he says, if you want, right? That's okay. Anyways, Nitfali Rabbi Aishia. So Rabbi Aishia, and he went to Rabbi Aishia, who's the one who said over the Gemara before that Hashem put us all over the world to save us. So Rabbi Aishia told him, the reason why you haven't killed us is because you haven't figured out a way to do it, right? Tachlinan kulu, if you're going to kill all of them, they're not next to you. How are you going to kill all the Yidden? Right? And you want to kill those that are next to you. So everybody's going to say, look at this government. They just kill people. So Gapa Drumai, which means the wall of the Rome, Rashi says that's a shvua he made to an Avodah Zarah. That's what we go down, and that's how we go up. Meaning, this is our thoughts every time. We want to kill you guys out, but we can't do it. It says you mamish mechavet us. So he gave in, and he said, we're not tzaddikim, we're not better than the Yidden. We just don't have the ability to kill them, so therefore we don't kill them. Okay, fine. We can stop there.
Yuri, I think it's my meches, I think.
In Purim or in Yom Kippur?
In Purim.
I think he brings it in Yom Kippur also.
Okay.
But the Gemara in Shabbos that was posted also, it's on Ayin Tes Amud Aleph. Amud Beis. Sorry.
Yeah.
And for anyone who's interested in getting the shot,
Go ahead.
that asked me to send it to them privately, I posted the link to the WhatsApp group on the Daf chat.
All right. Thank you. All right, I'm gonna cut out now. Zagas with everybody. Good to know.
So
Go ahead.